Aries, this is not a drill. Everything shifts for you this month. I haven't even had time to brush my hair, breaking my neck to get here to film this for you. Oh my God. Okay. Whew. You get gas lamp as your first card. Now, first of all, I'm thinking about gaslighting, but I don't know if it is about that. What seems certain will flicker with doubt. Trust only what remains steady. Okay, so imagine you have the energy of Aries, okay? No, I will not calm down. Even if you're an introverted Aries, you have this energy. You're a cardinal sign. You don't back down. You know how to keep things going. Especially, that just came up for you, the shield. The gas lamp and the shield. Boundaries are necessary, but they can also suffocate you. Aries and boundaries, you don't have a problem with them normally, but you're going to need them. You're going to need that shield, not just for boundaries, but I think for BS as well. You're in a situation where you can feel some energy bubbling up, a bit like a volcano. Remember, hello. Oh my God, hang on. That you're a fire sign, Aries, is what I was going to say next. This card just fell out for you, and it's the lantern. I know. Have you done your Christmas lights? Even the smallest spark of hope can light the way. Now, they're putting a nice spin on that, Aries, okay? I'm not sure I 100% accept that. I'm going to go a bit deeper because we know that you also got the gas lamp card, all right? There's something here about what lights the way and what is gaslighting. What is a green light? What is a red light? And also, you're not going to get two chances at this situation. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. This is one of the times when you don't. You also get sunflower, about turning towards the sun, turning towards what nurtures you. I'm going to say people-wise, who nurtures you rather than what nurtures you. Okay, what cards are we going to use for you, my lovelies? Been using these a lot, but I don't feel that those are you. Let's have one that's very much you. Okay, yes. We're going to go with these bad boys, but I'm also going to have some of those because they're brighter. We're going with the Bohemian Gothic Tarot. I'm feeling kind of dank corners and cobwebs for you for some reason. I'm feeling very much this vibe. Now, of course, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be like this. You know, you're a spring lamb, aren't you, really? But there's something about how you deal with the darkness, okay? Let's take 2 or 3 cards as an overall picture for you. Yeah. In the second half, we'll have a look at love and relationships, all right? But this is the everything else part. Okay, you get the King of Pentacles. So for some of you, it can be about work, it can be about money, it can be about achievement, it can be about bread on the table, in whichever way that is for you. For some of you, it's about energy. It's about conserving your energy. It's about treating your energy as a prize. It's about not allowing other people to diffuse you. Now, this is a common, and let me know in the comments section, this is a common misconception. I blame you, Biggie. My cat's on the windowsill. I've got a cat hair on my... Oh. This is a common misconception that Aries kind of strides ahead and they don't really care about the underdog and all that. You very much do, and sometimes that can be to your disadvantage. I would say most of the time you can't help it because that's your sign, that's who you are. You're kind of pioneering. Sometimes you're right about this and sometimes you're wrong, but you're going to pioneer anyway. You know, my best friend who lives down the road is an Aries and she backs me 100%, whether I did it or not. Okay, and that's what it's all about. But there's something here about making sure you do get your share of something. This could literally be money, as in, is it whatever contract you're involved with, something to do with work, getting paid for the work you do. If it's in relationships, the work you do in that relationship is recognized. And for some of you, I feel like this crosses over, especially about money. I feel like for a lot of you, maybe growing up you were gaslit about the value of money as energy, money as worth, but also bleeding into you as worth, you as a prize, the concept that you are enough. We're not talking about this just in terms of, coins and money and bank accounts. We're talking about this in terms of the worth of energy and self-worth. And for Aries, self-worth can be a real sticky wicket. I said what I said. Kill me in the comments. You won't though. I know it resonates because, I've grown up. I've brought up an Aries. I brought up an Aries. I've got the scars to prove it. But the thing that I notice the most, because obviously, and we've talked about this before, an Aries child is often headstrong, rules the head, okay? Often has a lot of knocks on the head when they're a kid. I can attest to that. And when I was ruling my headstrong child, which honestly was an absolute pleasure in the end because, he's great. But what I did notice were the times when that will to fight disappeared, usually because there was someone being sly in some way, because Aries is very upfront. You're like, let's fight the battle. I'm here. Here's my cards on the table. Let's go. And then it's quite quickly forgotten. Sometimes in life, quite often in life, you deal with other people. And I think this is a situation where you're dealing with other people who are not upfront. In some cases, it's just their personality. In other cases, they're deliberately gaslighting you. And you need to know the difference, okay? And I noticed with the boy that when he came up against this, he crumbled. Like his self-esteem was low at that point. And I think as a parent, bringing him up to have self-worth became my number one priority. Frankly, I knew that the battles would take care of themselves, and he did stick up for himself when he needed to. But it's the more private time. The time just before you fall asleep, the time just when you wake up, the time when you're just having a bath or doing nothing, or when you come up against a problem like I think you are at the moment. I mean, life is full of them. It happens. We ebb and we flow. For you, Aries, there may be a feeling of self-doubt. And I think it's very important that this reading delivers to you the message that this is not a drill, that this is not a dress rehearsal, that this is your moment to actually pull the cord on, yes, I know I'm right. I get this. My intuition has told me this. I know who you are. I know what this is. I'm calling it out or I'm choosing it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But it's important that you're choosing it rather than having it foisted on you. Okay? Oh, Viggy, how have you managed to get a cat hair up my nose? Okay. The next card. By the way, if this video is really doing something for you, if this is your life and not just a video, do hype the video. You hit the like button on your phone, get the rainbow thumb, and then you go like that, like you're on Tinder, and you will see a hype button and you can hype. Woohoo! The video. Okay, next card, 5 of Swords, Venus in Aquarius. This card is a sneaky biatch. It just is. There are some advantages to it. Let's tell you the advantages first. If you're in a strategic situation, so let's say this is work, in a friendship group, in a family, whatever, strategy. Play your cards close to your chest. Don't have everything out on the table. Everything's out on the table in your head. You know what you're doing with it. You know what you can see. You know what you know. But the need to know basis for other people is like a time release vitamin pill. Okay, that's what I'm getting channeled. You let it out when the time is right. So read the room. However indignant you might feel, however ready you might feel, check that the rest of the universe is right with it. Check that the vibe feels all right to you. Get into your high priestess mode Aries can be surprisingly intuitive. It just doesn't look the same as other signs. So you know your own way, and let me know in the comments, what is your sign of intuition? Weirdly, mine is an itchy nose. I know, I wouldn't have chosen that. It's not the most glamorous, but let me know what your special, God, doing it now, individual way of knowing is. Check in with that, and when it's time to pull the trigger, not literally obviously, go for it. Make your move, state your case, draw your line. If you feel for whatever reason that the vibe is off, keep your powder dry, cool your jets, move back a bit. Last thing you want is to play into their hands in any way. This is a negotiation that you're involved with. Even if it's a really nice person and it's something you really want, and if it's a relationship, and we're going to move into the erection section in a minute, even if it is that, you still have to play the hand that you've got, and you've got to play it right, okay? Then we get the Three of Cups, which is linking up, making connection. Make connection with the right people for the right reasons here. Don't let fear have anything to do with it. You are fearless, Aries. No, I won't back down, okay? I know I've raised one of you. Yes, you can get upset. There can be tears along the way. And you can also have self-doubt, but you can still act with a lot of gusto even when you doubt yourself, or when you think you're a complete piece of you know what. You can still ring the bell, okay? Remember that about yourself. It's your superpower. The World. You're closing out a cycle, but it's a bit like getting born and dying, right? Both of those things take a lot of effort. I know, we're in for the real truth today. Both of those things, getting on the stage and getting off the stage, as Shakespeare would say, all the world's a stage, they take a lot of effort. They take a lot of effort. You're built for this. You're ready for this. Read the room. Make your move at the right time, and don't be gaslit. If you feel like you're being gaslit, you're being gaslit. Okay? No second chances. And speaking of no second chances, let's look at your love life. Okay. No backsies. Aries, oof, hello. One moment. Your cards are really jumping at the moment. Nice. Tell me about Aries' love life. Love. Cool, okay. That's a mixed bag, isn't it? Let's have a look at this mixed bag. I want to know, why is this such a mixed bag? Okay. And another one. Alrighty. Oh, God. All right, now I know why. Page of Wands. This is for Aries a real blessing, because it's like, think of it, instead of being a bonfire or a real like big flamey thing, it's a pilot light. A pilot light can do a lot. On my boiler, it gives me hot water. Nice. I will wash my hair with it later. Bonus. When you get the page, it's a small flame. So this is to do with a little attraction. It's got a little bit of spice, it's got a little bit of flame, it's got a little bit of heat, okay? You're waking up a bit to something. It's good for Aries to be like that. It may take, itchy ear, it may take its sweet time. I've got some kind of thing in the back of my mind here that your season, Aries season, is going to be really important. So we don't go into that until about the 20th, 21st of March. Actually, it seems like a long way off, but it really isn't. One moment, I've got to catch a big cat. Go on, Biggie. There's Biggie Smalls. Yeah, it feels like, so think of this as a slow burn, especially because it's hot on the heels, or he is hot on the heels of it, with the Knight of Pentacles. Now, we know the Knight of Pentacles. He's the person who would like to invite you to look at his Google Drive in the pub and how he's categorised all his folders on his emails, and he can teach you how to do that if you like. That's the Knight of Pentacles. So not your thing, okay? So not your thing. But nevertheless, when you mix these two together, you get a bit of push and pull. No, I'm not feeding you yet, Biggie. A bit of push and pull, okay? It's like, ooh, and then, ooh, Think of those two noises, okay? Then we get the 9 of Pentacles. Sorry, 9 of Wands. I knew that was wrong. 9 of Wands, okay? Now, as you can see here, someone is kind of protecting themselves, but also lost in the weeds a little bit. It's really important in your relationships that you establish where you need to have boundaries. And this has come up for a few signs. It came up for your opposite sign of Libra. Where you need to have boundaries and where you need to actually be visible and vulnerable. Some people or some aspects are more trustworthy than others. And again, you need to read the field, okay? Read the field, read the room, read the signs, and don't bullshit yourself. This is the area of our lives, love, where we bullshit ourselves the most. The Death card then rides in. It's like, screw you guys. That's my Cartman impression. Sorry. Oh, God. Lorry driver Gemma is coming out. It's just for you, Aries. This guy rides in and is just like, clear the decks. It's time for change. Okay? So it's not subtle. This is not a drill. Okay? It's not subtle. So some relationships will fall by the wayside with this. I'm just going to be straight up front with you about that. And some will really ring the bell. Okay? Let's take a couple more cards on that. This is strong stuff for you, Aries, in your love life, but you need to be strong in your love life because it's really who you are. Okay? It's really who you are. I like this mix, actually. I knew you were going to get that one. There will be an extended reading, by the way. So if this really does ring your bell and it really resonates, I go further in that and I do a me and you side-by-side mirror reading, okay? I know, it's something I'm trying. I did it last month. It was way popular. So check that out if this is really sounding the gong. 8 of Pentacles, a very steady card, okay? This should not be, whatever your situation, it should not be based just on fire. Even though you're a fire sign, and even if you've got loads of other fire in your chart, I don't care. The 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, it's just like, whoa Nelly, keep it steady, keep it evidence-based, keep it real, keep it grounded. Whatever's happening in your love life should feel secure as much as it ever can. I mean, love is not always completely a secure thing, but as much as it ever can, okay? If it's, hi sweetheart, if it's snap me knicker elastic at 10 paces and you want a fling, full steam ahead, okay? Giddy up. Why not? But if it's something longer term that you're after, okay, we've got the Knight of Wands here. Plus we've got the Knight of Pentacles, you know, and these two are just opposites. It's like, let's go. I'm riding my pony. Okay, that's the Knight of Wands. And we already know what the Knight of Pentacles is like. Yes, you are riding your pony, but have you done a health and safety assessment ahead of time? You got these two people on your shoulders, and it's a bit of a scrap between them, okay? Bit of a scrap between them. But the Death card says no half measures. Aries is good with no half measures. You're not a mushy sign. You're not a sign that hangs in there. You're not a sign that goes around with the begging bowl. It's just not your thing, okay? You can be misdirected by fire, and all of us can be misled by love, okay? So that's in there for everybody. But the 8 of Pentacles is do your due diligence. How is it matching your goals? How is what this person is saying, whoever they are, whether they're new, whether it's a situationship, whether it's a couple, what do their words mean? Do they grow into things or do they stay? Oh, I love that you got that card. Okay. I was thinking this card, your card, the Fool. I know your card is the Emperor, but it's the Fool. Aries energy, first off the gate, 0 card of the major arcana, new beginning, okay? New beginning for some, as in leaving that person in the dust. Remember, it's all or nothing here. This is not a drill. For others of you, it can really level up. It won't be easy, but it will be fun, okay? I'm going to go and do the extended reading, you and me, side by side, the mirror reading where we go. We peer in between the cracks. Oh God. Ever since Mercury retrograde, Aries, I have not been able to speak. It's still in its shadow period. That's my story. Okay, I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.